Good evening, lovers, and welcome to day 2 of LOVEFEST. It is my absolute honor to join you again this evening, and I'm hoping that more women feel able to join this evening. I know LOVEFEST this time round is off to a little, like a kind of a slow start because we were all rather distracted over the last few days, weren't we, with the Queen and the funeral and so on. And I feel like we're slowly kind of coming back to regular day to day and refinding our groove because I guess life goes on, right? And and it's time to love yourself enough to focus on you and remember why on earth you signed up to something called LOVEFest. Like, what was your intention? What brought you here? Like, we've still got time. I am still here to support you in getting to the answers that you need and helping you create the kind of relationship with yourself and relationship with others that you really desire. We still have time left. And the good news, the really, really good news, is I've decided to extend LOVEFest by an extra day because like I said, we have been off to a slow start, and that's okay. And in my world, I dial into the belief that there's more than enough time for everything, for everyone. There's always time. There's always more than enough time. I have to remind myself of that. It's one of my mantras. It's a really powerful affirmation. There's more than enough time for everyone, for everything. And so from that energy, I'm like, so we'll just extend it. Let's just do another day. You don't have to fall behind. You can still get what you came for. Okay. So no stress, no panic. It's all good. I'm here for you to support you. So as you're joining, please do say hi. And if you're on the replay, just type #replay. And I would love to know who's watching. Karen is back. Karen, you're amazing. Love it. You're here. Yes, and we have the extra day. So what I'm going to do is, I'm at this point, I'm not planning on offering another training because I feel like 3 masterclasses in a row, because we had one last night, there's a masterclass tonight, there's another one tomorrow night. They're on completely different topics, although you'll notice they all kind of, there's a lot of overlap as well. It's a lot of information to absorb. So I'm a little reluctant to teach another masterclass on Thursday night. So we'll see what happens, as in if I feel guided to teach on something because something comes through over the next couple of days, then I will. And for now, I'm preparing for Thursday night's live to be a Q&A call where you can really, by then, theoretically, you will have gone through all of the playbooks from day 1, 2, and 3, and even had some time to kind of receive that information, to digest it a little bit, and maybe some more juicy questions will have bubbled to the surface, and you can bring those to the call on Thursday night. So at the moment, our bonus day is a chance for you to catch up. And of course, we've got the catch up page for that. And if you've registered, you will have access to that. And Thursday night will be a pure Q&A call, probably. All right. So that's there for you, which I'm really glad to be able to offer. Lindy's here. Hello. Yay. So good to have you. Yeah, you were busy in London yesterday, weren't you, darling? Yeah, it was a lot going on. I know a lot of women were in London yesterday. I was on the couch watching everything yesterday. I didn't really want to leave the couch. I'm not going to lie. I actually really enjoyed being part of history yesterday. It's pretty amazing. It's great to have the extra time, as I felt I had to rush it yesterday. Great. You got all the time in the world, my love, all the time in the world. And you're in the Love Lounge. So if you don't get to finish the playbooks during LOVEFest, you have access to me in the Love Lounge all the time, like every single day. So if you have questions for me, Karen, you can always bring them to me there, right? You can bring them to me on our Ask Me Anything calls each week. You can bring them to our group coaching calls. You can even bring them to our happy hour calls with Sarah, right? We've got lots of opportunity to get that support, which I'm so glad to be able to offer. Who we got here? I'm here and worked out how to use the chat this evening. That's awesome, except that I don't know who it is. Who is that? Who's here? Good to have you. Helen's here. Hello, darling. Wonderful to have you. I was lucky enough to be on the long walk in Windsor yesterday. Oh, so joining a day late and we'll be making the most of the catch-up day. That's wonderful. I'm so glad for you. Really, really pleased. Oh, you're in Cornwall? Oh, I thought I read something somewhere that you're in London or something. Okay, maybe not. My replies are taking several minutes to appear. Oh, not to worry. It's technology. We don't question it. We just roll with it. Okay, darlings, so great to have you. Oh, and Sally's here too. You're very welcome. And same goes for you, Sally. You're in the Love Lounge. So if it does take you a little bit longer to work through the playbooks, if you want some extra support, bring it into the lounge, bring it to the coaching calls, bring it into the Facebook group. I'm there to support you. Yeah. Oh, it's Juliet. Hi, honey. I haven't done the thing you said to do. So you can see the names. That's okay. I'll know now. Just sign off with a J at the end and I'll know who you are. I'm so glad I'm in the Love Lounge. It's amazing. And I'll definitely ask. Pleasure, honey. Yeah, we do love the Love Lounge. Who else here is in the Love Lounge? Share some love for the Love Lounge, ladies. There's a few of you here, I know. All righty. So last night we dialed in very specifically to what on earth did we talk about last night? What we don't own owns us. And we were looking at how to live consciously and transformationally, and how to essentially it was kind of a self-love 101, right? It was an introduction to how to take responsibility for yourself and your life and what it takes to live transformationally. A very specific framework and process that I teach that can and will move you from fear to love in a moment-to-moment basis, on a day-to-day basis. It becomes your new normal. It becomes your new way of doing life. So you are operating from a place of fear, from a place of abundance, from a place of possibility, instead of that place of fear and scarcity and lack. And it means that you're developing that self-confidence and that self-worth to not just give yourself permission to have a deep, connected relationship with you, but it has you be the vibrational match. It transforms your energy so that you are the vibrational match for the kind of relationship you want to have, or that maybe you want to call in if you're single. Yeah. So who you are being, your energy, where your energy is at, is what you are attracting. It is what you are available for. So yesterday was very much around owning our past, owning our pain, owning our wounding, owning the belief systems we inherited that may not serve us anymore, owning the behavioral habits we've adopted that may not serve us anymore, owning it and taking that self-responsibility to do something about it. And I top-lined how you can do something about it. And we didn't go into huge detail on that because we don't have time. I will be very transparent and share that tomorrow night I'm going to give you an example, an offering of how you can work with me going forward to dive in and do the actual transformational work. It's the work I'm doing with my clients. I will be sharing all that with you tomorrow night. I will be offering a ridiculously massive discount on the work that I do with my clients. It's a very special offer just for LOVEFEST. That will come tomorrow. Okay, so watch this space. Tonight, I want to dial into, well, we're going to stay with the theme of self-love. It's LOVEFEST after all. And you are the common denominator when it comes to your relationships. And we're going to take a look at what I see to be one of the most sabotaging patterns of behavior that destroys relationships. Right? One of the most sabotaging patterns of behavior that destroys relationships. And I'm going to preface everything I'm going to share tonight with, it's what I've written at the top page of your playbook. On the top here, and it says, you are not your behavior, you are a beautiful spirit. I've written it on every single page of the playbook because I want to remind you, we're creating tons of awareness through this worksheet today, it is not an opportunity for you to beat up on yourself, to judge yourself, to make yourself feel bad. I know these sorts of feelings are going to come up. I put the reminder at the top of the page on every single page that you are not your behavior. It does not define you. It's not who you are. To say that I am my behavior is a shame statement. It's not true. You are a beautiful spirit. You all are. We all are. And it's these sabotaging behavioral habits, which are they come from our conditioning. It's not your fault. It's no one's fault. It is, however, your responsibility to take a look at it and do the healing work to overcome it. Because habits of behavior are just that. They're habits and they can be changed. You do have the power to change your habits of behavior. Might take some persistence, might take a bit of work. It's definitely going to take a lot of dedication and self-love. And you can do it. Okay? You do have that power. And the specific behavioral habit I want to speak to tonight, because I think I might have just said this, I see it time and time and time again with my clients. It has been my own personal experience, and it was a huge part of my upbringing and what I witnessed. And it's people pleasing, aka codependency. It kills relationships. And when we have codependent, people-pleasing behavior going on, what I also see happening, having worked with thousands of women, having experienced this in my own life and witnessed it growing up, when we have codependency going on, our victim archetype is being triggered. We are in our victim when we are being codependent. Now, I support women who are single. I support women who are in relationships. And I do not, I want to preface this as well. This came to me as I was sat just kind of breathing and like grounding myself and just tapping into what the message is, what the energy is that I wanted to bring forward this evening. And what really came to me was this note to share with you that I am not the expert in all things relationship. I'm not that person. I'm expert in a lot of things when it comes to relationships. I am absolutely expert when it comes to your relationship with yourself. And I know that your relationship with yourself is the key to all of your healthy relationships. And I stand as living proof to that. I've told you stories over the last couple of nights. I'll do probably less storytelling tonight, but I've told you a lot of stories on Sunday night and Monday night about my own personal experience, my own wounding, and what I've had to overcome. The addiction that was in my relationships, the codependency that was in my relationships, the drama, the chaos, the pain, the cheating, the narcissism, the throwing of furniture, the alcoholism, all the things. I've experienced so much inside relationship that's been very, very painful. And at the root of so much of it was a victim. My victim archetype was properly triggered, and I only knew how to show up codependently. That has been my biggest piece to overcome. Other stuff, of course, but that's been my biggest piece to overcome. And I tend to attract women as clients, and men, by the way. I had 3 inquiries from men today for private coaching. There's something going on. Don't know what that's about, but they're coming in. I have historically worked with men. I do have some male clients at the moment. And I do attract women whose biggest pain point in relationship circles around people pleasing and codependency. And they have a seriously activated victim archetype. That's who comes to me because that is my experience. It's become my expertise, and I've supported thousands of women through that work. So that's what I'm going to focus on tonight. Cool? Are we all in the right place? Let me have a quick look at the comments. Oh, Helen's saying, me. Helen's in the Love Lounge. Yes, you are. And here's this. Anne's here. Hello, darling. I saw your question in Facebook and I will be answering that. I promise you, I feel like you're going to get a lot of your answers through the masterclass this evening. And it's Kate. Hello, darling. You're going to be in the Love Lounge very soon. Are you not? Wink, wink. Am I winking? Sometimes I think I can't wink. Okie dokie. Let me take a sip and then we're going to dive in. So, oh yes, Sally's in the Love Lounge too. Yeah. The women in the Love Lounge are a bit cool. They're a bit cool. Okay. Here we go. Day 2. Love yourself. You are not your behavior. You are a beautiful spirit. Yes, indeedy. Okay, one sec. I need to make it look prettier. Remember, I like things to be just so cleaner. There we go. Okie dokie. Oh, and Jane's here. Hi, darling. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. Anyone else joined and want to say hello before I dive in? Please do. I love to know who's watching. So I've just talked about how codependency, well, I've touched on, I've introed this. Codependency, people pleasing is one of the most sabotaging behavioral habits I see showing up in relationships and ruining relationships. And I can't speak to people pleasing and codependency without addressing the victim archetype. So we're going to look at what on earth your victim is and what the victim really is. And I've got some good news about it. And before I dive into it, I want to just address the heaviness of the word victim. Like when you hear me say victim, I mean, it almost kind of hurts my teeth when I say it. It's got a real stigma attached to it, hasn't it? It's got a real heaviness. It feels, I mean, like we can throw, oh, she's such a victim as an insult, can't we? And we definitely, I mean, let me know if you're agreeing here. We don't like to be referred to as a victim. We don't like feeling like a victim. I hate it when my victim archetype comes up. I do not like feeling like that. I think one of the biggest reasons I don't like feeling like it, and I wonder if you can relate, is because I just have this sense of that's just not really me, right? When I go into victim, and I do, I do, I'm going to tell you in a minute why I love the victim as well. The victim gets a bad rap. And actually, I'm going to be inviting you tonight to love and embrace the victim, but we'll get to that. First of all, when I feel like I'm going into victim, I have this feeling of like, that's just not me. What is that? I feel like I'm possessed by a child, like a moody little bratty child that's throwing her toys and stamping her feet and pouting and crossing her arms. That's what I feel like. I'm like, I'm a grown ass 48-year-old woman who runs a business and is a parent and has a mortgage. I am not a bratty little kid. And yet I feel like I'm being taken over by that energy when my victim archetype gets triggered. And there's a reason for that. Is anyone agreeing with me here on this? No one's commenting. I know the comments are being a bit delayed. Am I the only one that feels like that when my victim archetype is triggered? It's because it isn't really the truth of me. And that's why I'm going to say it again. You are not your behavior. You are a beautiful spirit. The truth of you is not that victim behavior, right? Thank you, Anne. Yes, she's agreeing. Yes. And Karen's relating too. Thank you, guys. I love it when you interact with me because it just makes me feel like I'm in conversation. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Right. Let's dive on. Let's dive in. Kate saying, I feel exactly like that. Yeah, we do, right? It's not who we are. We are grown women. We're capable women. We're intelligent women. We we can sort stuff out. So when the victim comes in, it's just like a part of us is like that. It doesn't really fit, and yet we don't know what to do with it, and we allow it to run the show. We allow it to take over. We allow it to ruin our relationship with ourselves and ruin our relationship with others. And today I'm going to give you an insight to what's really going on and the beginnings of what you can do about it, how you can take your power back. Sally's saying the victim feels uncomfortable, a lack of strength when you feel you are strong enough not to be. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's almost like this thing that's saying you're not capable, you can't do what you want to do. I'm going to help you tap into what else is true. Okay. I love this word, and this really is my expertise. I'm so excited to share it with you. So let's briefly explore how your childhood experiences are shaping the woman you are today, and how a small child is currently running your finances, career, and relationships. Now, some of you here have seen a similar presentation to what I'm sharing now. Stick with it, girls. It's not exactly the same presentation that you've seen before, although it's very similar, and it is worth your attention. Again, you will take something new away from it. So let's just have a look at the victim. Let's just get into absolute reality. Let me make my screen bigger so I can read that. Okay. And if it helps you to really absorb this, if you just want to sit with your eyes closed, perhaps, and just hear me read this, because there's more than one page of how I define the victim. So you might just want to receive this and just feel what's true for you. Not everything I say will resonate with you. Some will, perhaps a lot will. And as I'm sharing, remember to be compassionate and kind to yourself. There is no judgment here. We are shining the light of awareness for the purposes of you getting the change that you came for. You deserve that. Okay, so the victim, our victim archetype, when she's activated, she gives her power away. She thinks that other people make her feel the way that she does. She makes others responsible for her not feeling good. She thinks her answers are outside of her rather than within her. She has a sense of having to keep it all together. She often feels unsupported and unloved. She doesn't feel worthy of love or physical attention. She feels responsible for others. She's often emotionally on edge. She has a nagging sense that she's playing small, which is soul destroying. She knows she's hiding her gifts and talents. She's searching for love. She also works hard to earn love. That's a big one. She works hard to be seen, heard, and understood. She puts others first. She has a habit of keeping up appearances. She takes care of other people's emotional needs. She doesn't know how to find happiness from the inside. She looks externally for validation and self-worth. She has a sense that she doesn't really know who she is. She finds it difficult to answer questions around what she really needs and wants. She's always on a treadmill seeking external validation. She finds it difficult to trust others. She has a sense of entitlement. There's more to come. Just take a breath, feel into it. It's a lot of information. Tap back into compassion and kindness for yourself. And just notice, can you notice already, just in these first couple of pages, how people-pleasing codependency is inherent in the victim archetype? When our victim is activated, can you see the traits of codependency and people-pleasing coming through? This, taking care of other people's emotional needs, keeping up appearances, putting others first, works hard to earn love. This is all codependency. She often feels overwhelmed. She's scared of what others think of her. She's scared of rejection. She's walking on eggshells, plays mind games to get attention from others, plays emotional games to get the attention of others. Nothing is ever enough. She blames everyone else. She feels hard done by and ripped off, judgmental of others and self. Everything is everyone else's problem. She expects to be let down and disappointed. Oh, that has been a biggie for me through my life. And if you heard the stories I told the last couple of nights, you'll understand why. She doesn't expect to succeed. She often feels angry and resentful. She often feels submissive. She thinks she has no control over her life. She childishly thinks that life should be fair. Self-pity becomes normal. She has low energy and little vitality. She feels depressed, hopeless, exhausted. And she oscillates between feeling entitled and feeling resigned. It's a big one. She oscillates between feeling entitled and feeling resigned. There's a lot going on there, isn't there? So let's just tap into the disempowering voices of the victim. So this is the mindset. This is the monkey mind, the inner critic, that mean girl inner voice. When your victim archetype is activated, this is the kind of thing you'll be telling yourself. See what you resonate with. I'm a failure. I'll be rejected. It's not meant for me. They won't like me. I'll not be enough for him. He'll leave me. Money never lasts. I'll never have any money. Why don't they know who I am? No one sees me. I may as well give up. I'm so busy. I never have enough time. I never have enough money. I'll never be able to fill in the blank. He's so lazy. Why do I have to do everything? It's so unfair. I'm alone. They don't hear me. They don't know what I need. This shouldn't be happening to me. What did I do to deserve this treatment? They never consider my feelings. Who do they think they are? People just don't give a damn. No one appreciates me. Why do they always get all the breaks? They're going to make a fool of me. They don't respect me. I'll always be alone. I'll always feel alone. You don't have to try. Don't bother. It's not worth it. My partner should love me. Oh. Let's go back for a second. Hold on a moment. Yeah. Sally's saying, oh dear, so much is me. Lorraine, oh dear, I relate to this. Oh dear, I hear you. And I'm just going to take this off for a second. I hear you with the oh dear, and be excited. Without this light of awareness, there is no change. We have to see it for what it is. Actually, one of my favorite things to do with the client is to give her or him the space to have a good whinge, to say that stuff. It came up for me yesterday. So those of you that were on the live last night, or if you've seen the replay, you'll see that I went through the workbook yesterday and I noticed some thoughts and thinking that's been going on for me that I'm not particularly aware of, or at least I've been very good at just ignoring and using positive thinking to deal with it. I'm not going to do that anymore. And one of the things that I noticed yesterday that is like the victim archetype essentially is looking for her voice to be heard. We don't like saying those things, right? We don't want to admit that we think this stuff. It feels gross and icky and childish and deeply disempowering and embarrassing. But one of the most powerful things one of the most powerful, find your words, Katie. One of the most powerful experiences a client can have with me is when we just sit and she just gets to whinge and say all of that and cry and be shitty and be moody and be fully loved and accepted and witnessed while she does. Like, it's okay. I'll never forget having a male coach once. This was when I was single, and it helped me so much to have a man witness me when I was in my victim archetype, and to hold space and love me unconditionally, to still be able to see the truth of me, the power of me when I was in victim. There was no judgment. There was no timeline on, is she over yet? Is she done yet? Is she finished whinging yet? There was no judgment. Did I say that? I might have said that twice. Because when I was growing up, my parents didn't have the emotional capacity to deal with my childish whinging. I'm going to put that in inverted commas, childish whinging. Nobody had the emotional capacity for it. I was regularly told by my parents, you're being difficult. If I was emotional, I was being difficult. You shut that down. We are not available for you to be anything other than just calm and pleasant and easy to deal with. Newsflash, the feminine is a sea of emotion. We're like this. And that's okay. As long as we have personal responsibility and mastery, as long as we can learn to move with the currents of our emotion, we're good. You're not bad or wrong. And to be given, so for me growing up, to be made wrong for having emotions, particularly by my dad, actually, bless his heart, zero judgment, love him dearly, done a lot of healing work around it. I get that I would have been difficult too, by the way, I get it. And it wasn't very helpful conditioning or programming for me as a girl to essentially have that experience. I made it mean that I had to be a good girl around the masculine. I had to be easy breezy. I had to be calm, confident, fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be loved. Otherwise, I wouldn't be accepted. It's that thing. I had to work hard for love. I had to be a good girl to be loved. I had to be other than the truth of me in every moment. So to actually have a male coach hold space for me when I was in victim, and to never let me forget the truth of who I was, like a powerful, beautiful, intelligent woman that had a lot to share with the world. Like you can be that and, right? Be that and. And the healing comes from being able to let your victim voice be heard. Let it be heard. Let it be witnessed. There is nothing more powerful. And in fact, this is how we heal the victim. I'm skipping ahead and I'm probably going well beyond right now than this masterclass is even about. But I do feel like I want to say, we heal the victim through witnessing her. I'm definitely skipping ahead right now. Can't help myself. Very passionate about this topic. Right, let me just go back to the comments and then I go back to the masterclass. Yes, awareness is key. You are so in the right place, honey. I can definitely relate to a lot of this. Yes. And Karen, I see you healing rapidly, by the way. It's pretty mind-blowing. Joe, hello. Amazing to look back and see how much has shifted over the last few years, right? That's awesome. I must admit, I sat down and tried to do this playbook today myself because I said that I would. I did yesterday's playbook. And I kind of, it pretty much wasn't resonating with me, which does just show how far I've come. Because once upon a time, I'd have sat with this playbook and listened to this presentation and been like, oh my God, this stuff is ruling my life. What the hell do I do with that? Where do I even begin? And I felt really embarrassed, actually. So that's why I've created this masterclass, and I've created the bodies of work I have to support women through this, because I kind of wish it existed when I was going through it. I figured it out. I pieced it together. I got a lot of amazing support and from lots of different places, and I brought it all together now to help you. So if this is resonating with you, this is what I can help you with. Helen saying, sorry, was washing up, so I couldn't comment. Wow, thought I'd done a lot of work on my victim, but wow, pretty much all the things you say fully resonate with me. Still more work to be done for sure. Darling, that's okay. That's okay. And, you know, the thing with our victim archetype, it comes up and it can soften, or it'll come up and it can soften. Like once upon a time for me, it was on all the live long day. And I normalized it. I didn't realize there was even another way of doing life. I just thought that's how it was for me. So, you know, my victim archetype has gone from being on and active and ruining my relationships all the live long day and having me in deep codependency to now she comes up every now and then. Totally. Sometimes she comes up every day. Should pay a brief visit. And I'm like, hi, you're back. How you doing? Because she's a gift, but we'll get to that. She's a little signpost. We love her, really. Lindy, I was told this weekend that I stamped my feet as a child to get my own way. My reply was, at least I had passion. Then I was told, you always have an answer. Yes. And we love that about you, Lindy. We love that about you. It's just not very fun as an adult to be stamping your feet and not know what to do with that behavior, right? When it takes you over and you feel like you're not, something else is owning your body and owning your emotions, that's when it's not nice and we want to do something about it. And is the most important word for this, for me. Yes. And I like that. I like that, Kate. I don't feel a victim so much these days, and I can only put that down to all the work I've done with you, Katie. Oh, thanks, honey. Well, we've done some profound work. Obviously, I'm now trying to go deeper and find the really deep victim. But that's beautiful. That's really beautiful, and I honor you for wanting to continue the journey. I do too. I do it. I'm on it. I'm with you, sister. Fiona, hi, darling. This work has been a game changer for me, right? And I'm so glad you're watching this presentation again, Fiona. This is different to the one you've seen, and you'll get it. You'll get more from it because you're going, that's that little bit deeper. You'll hear it a bit differently. All right, let's keep going. We're on a roll. Let me take a sip. Oh, Anne's just commented. Anne, I'm going to come to your comment in just a minute. Let me just carry on for a bit. Oh my goodness, this chamomile tea, I put some honey in it. It's so yummy. Let me have another sip while it's still warm. Oh, it's so good. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is really important. The victim, your victim archetype blocks you to receiving. And when I say receiving, I mean like calling in and allowing yourself to have the thing that you want. If that's a healthy relationship, your victim archetype is blocking you to having that. It's blocking you to having the career you want. It's blocking you to having the financial freedom that you want. It's blocking you to having the healthy body and mind and emotions that you want, right? The victim is blocking you in every direction. When we are in victim energy, we are blocking ourselves to receiving. We are literally saying, I am not worthy of having what I desire. Let's just have that land for a second. We are literally saying, I am not worthy of having what I desire. I know you want to draw a line underneath that. When you feel unappreciated, resentful, exhausted, and empty, your energy is blocked and closed, and you are not open and available to receive. So we feel unappreciated on an intellectual, mental level. Remember, we're four parts. Remember the masterclass last night? We looked at how we are mind, we are body, we are emotion, we are spirit. So when we feel unappreciated on an intellectual, mental level, we feel unappreciated. When we feel resentful, we feel that on an emotional level. When we feel exhausted, we're feeling that on a physical level. When we feel empty, that's on our spiritual level. Which is why, and I'm not going to go into how you heal the victim archetype tonight. I will tell you tomorrow night how I can help you to do that. But for now, we're creating awareness, and you need to know that this energy of victim blocks you to receiving on all levels. So when you're not paying yourself attention in terms of your spiritual connection, for example, you feel energy, you feel empty, sorry. Therefore, your energy is blocked and closed. Yeah. When you're running yourself into the ground, taking care of everybody else before yourself because you feel too guilty to put yourself first, you're exhausted. That energy is blocking you to receiving what you want. Again, when you're taking care of everybody and you're in that role of martyr and you're resentful, your energy is blocked and closed. When you're feeling unappreciated, same thing, right? It's happening on all levels. So notice that. Victim energy becomes your energetic field, and that energy tells other people and tells the universe that you don't expect too much, that you expect to be hurt and let down, that you expect to feel insignificant and small. We want to draw a line under that. So just take a moment, just feel into it. Where in your life are you being a victim now? If you feel like sharing it in the chat, if you want to be brave, and remember, one of the keys to healing our victim archetype is having it witnessed. If you feel brave and courageous, feel free to share here. Of course, if you want to share more deeply and you're in my Love Lounge membership, you can do that over there. So where in your life are you being a victim now? Is it your family relationships, your intimate relationships, friends and colleagues, career and work, money and finances, your learning and education, adventure, pleasure and fun, health and fitness, contribution to society, your spirituality or religion? Where do you know you're blocked to receiving because your victim archetype is activated? Just going to have a little look at the comments. And saying, I felt victimized recently by two friends who had a squabble in front of me in a pub. She phoned me and told me not to come to the pub again. So I sent it straight back to her by saying, I had a strong feeling you were blaming me for the squabble and told them to confront their issue and stop blaming me and looking for a victim. In my view, send it straight back to where it comes from. Yeah, don't own that. That's theirs. That's theirs. I've been doing a lot of work, inner work, and a lot has shifted recently. I'm stepping into my power. Oh my God, woman, you are. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. You have been stepping into your power. Oh, we've got quite a bunch of new comments here. Hold on a moment. Family relationships being disregarded by father and brother. That's what you're feeling. You're in your victim at the moment in your family relationships. Thank you for sharing, Sally. Yikes, I think I'm feeling it in almost all of these areas. Okay, darling. That's okay. Awareness is the first step to change. Helen realized that my victim really popped her head up this weekend regarding friends. Yeah. Yeah. And it's, when you can, well, we'll get to what the victim really is in a moment, but the fact that it's rooted in childhood kind of makes sense. We learn how to have friends from a very young age. And we bring that learning and what we made that mean about us and other women and friendship in general, we bring that into our adult life. Remember, what we don't own owns us. I'm a victim at receiving some of the pleasures in life because I'm always too busy. Need to work further on this. Too busy. It's a thing. You're not the only one, honey. Although I do see you, Lindy. I see you. I see you receiving more fun and pleasure in your life than ever before, and really doing your best to make a real conscious effort around that. I just want to honor you that. Kate is saying relationships, work, health, fitness, pleasure, and fun stand out most for me. Thank you so much for sharing that, darling. Okay, let's move on. Right, let's take a look at, we're just going to change tack ever so slightly to see with just a little bit more depth how the victim archetype is showing up for you by looking at your basic human needs. So it's the Maslow hierarchy of needs, essentially, is what we're looking at here. And we all need to tick these boxes to feel like we are surviving in the world. Every human being, we all need to feel certainty. We all need to feel safety. We all need to feel significant. Oops, hold on one sec. We all need to feel love, and we all need to feel variety. We all need to tick these boxes. Certainty and safety in fact, hold on, let me just take a moment and pause. All of these basic human needs have been poked and prodded the last couple of years, have they not? When you consider coronavirus, pandemic, being locked in our homes, not going out, not allowed to go near other human beings. It's dangerous, apparently. Can't connect, don't feel safe, don't have certainty. Tons of this has been triggered the last couple of years. We cannot ignore that. And even with, and I felt this profoundly yesterday, and I felt it for the last week or so, with the death of the Queen and the change in monarchy and a significant shift in that entire structure that has just been, whether you believe in it or not, whatever you think about it, it has been a present structure and system with rituals attached to it in our lives for as long as we can remember. And everything shifted in the last 10 days. There's a palpable change. So our sense of certainty gets shook. Our sense of safety gets shook, right? It can't ignore that, what's been going on the last 2-3 years. Anywho, I'm going off track again. Let's look at how we meet. So actually, first, just to say, all humans have to tick every single one of these. We have to feel like we are getting this in our life to feel like we can survive this life. How, and there's a whole chapter on this in my book, by the way. So if you have my book, read the chapter on your basic human needs. How we meet these needs, we can do in beautiful, positive ways, or we can do it in rather self-destructive, self-sabotaging ways. It doesn't really matter. Our humanness is like, as long as I'm ticking the box, I feel like I'm surviving. We want you ticking these boxes in a healthy way. But let's take a look at how, when our victim archetype is activated, we're ticking these boxes in not so helpful ways, and in ways that not only sabotage our relationship with ourselves, but our relationships with others. So let's first look at the survival need of certainty. Now, the victim comes from this angle up here. You don't have to take, oh, you can't see my cursor, can you? I'm like circling things here. I don't think you can see me doing that. You don't have to take risks. You don't have to risk rejection or failure or judgment from others if you don't take a chance. That feels safe to the victim, right? So when we're in victim, we don't want to take risks, and we don't. And if you just have a look, I need to make my screen bigger because I can't see that. Okay, so remember some of the voices of the victim that we looked at earlier. I'm a failure. I'll be rejected. They won't like me. I'll not be enough. No one sees me. He'll leave me. These are the kind of voices of the victim that have us not wanting to take risks. And that feels okay because we're ticking this box of certainty. But the truth is, and a way that we could tick that box in a positive way would be to remember that it's soul destroying not to unapologetically live the truth of who you are. that you can't actually grow if you're not willing to take risks. Now let's look at the survival need of safety. So from the victim's perspective, you don't have to take responsibility when you're in victim. Taking responsibility for life can feel scary and like a lot of hard work. You'll likely have to make some big decisions and create some big changes. So that's what's going on when we're in victim. So we tick that box of safety. But the truth is, there's nothing more empowering than living your biggest, best, most authentic and aligned life. The victim doesn't remember that. Yeah. The victim's like, you don't have to try. Don't bother. It's not worth it. Why do they get all the breaks? Right. This survival need of significance. When you're in victim, you get to be right. It doesn't feel great to be wrong. Your judgment of yourself and others feels unquestionable, and so you feel right when you're in victim. You can avoid feeling vulnerable. But would you prefer to be right or happy? Connection. So the victim gets a lot of attention and validation. When we're in victim, we're often manipulating others to feel sorry for us or to collaborate in your stories around how tough and unfair life can be. And that can have you feel connection, love, and significance. I remember when I lived in victim 24/7, pretty much, a lot of the friendships I had were very collaborative in my victim stories. Life wasn't fair. All men were bastards. It's never there's never enough money. That's too expensive. I had people around me that totally collaborated with me on that. And so I felt connection and love and significance, right? But there are healthier ways to create connection. You know that. Love. We all need love, right? You need to feel needed and important. And your sense of responsibility for the well-being, success, or fulfillment of others and their appreciation and value of your support can feel like love. It feels good to feel needed. So just feel into that from the perspective of when you're in people-pleasing mode and you are taking care of everybody else. Now, there's nothing wrong, obviously, just, keeping it real. There's nothing wrong with caring for other people. It's a beautiful quality. We need more of it in the world. As long as it's coming from a place of overflow, like I'm taking so much care of myself, I'm loving myself so much to the degree that I have an overflow, and it is my honor to be able to support and care for you. Rather than what happens when we're in codependency is I need you to be okay so that I can feel okay. So let me bend over backwards and let me make myself responsible for your well-being and fulfillment and success and health. Let me make that my responsibility so that I can feel okay. If you're not okay, I'm not okay, right? That's not particularly helpful or healthy. But it does, for the victim archetype, it does feel good to feel needed. But that's not a particularly healthy relationship, is it? The truth is, you deserve to receive love without having to put yourself last. You also don't have to work hard for love. Variety. So we're talking about mystery and surprise. So when we're in victim, we're walking on eggshells. We're worrying what other people think, and we're waiting to be let down or disappointed. And that might sound horrible, but to the victim, this keeps things interesting because she never knows what's coming next, approval or judgment. Weird and wonderful ways that we tick these survival needs, right? But the truth is, it can be excited to try something new, like a business or a relationship. And that is the key to unlocking your true potential. I am just going to take a look at the comments and have another sip of my yummy chamomile. If I can find the comments, hold on. Right, Helen. I think I'm also in my victim, which is stopping me plan my 50th. Oh my goodness, Helen. Get somebody else to plan it for you then. Asking is the first step to receiving, my love. Fee, family relationships, some friends. So we're talking, this is where you notice the victim is coming through. Family relationships, some friends were talking about things they'd done with their families, and I ended up thinking about lack of family and feeling a bit poor me because I would dearly love a bigger family and don't have one. It's all right for other people. Yeah, and I hear you, honey. That was a really big piece for me too for a long time, and really honor that. Please honor that feeling, honor that desire, honor that pain. That's part of your healing right now, and honoring the desire for a big family or honoring desire for more family it's a beautiful desire. I want you to know I see you, I hear you, I'm witnessing you in that right now. Truly, truly, truly. Karen, work and relationships showing up for me a lot. Okay, good awareness. Helen, oh yeah, also living in my victim within my relationship. Brave, thank you for sharing that. Yes, the manipulation to get people to feel sorry for me, that old chestnut. It's a thing. It's a thing. Great awareness. Yeah, I relate to that, Fiona, as I feel like that as my peers all have children and grandchildren. It makes me feel lonely, even though I have a busy and lively life. I worry about who'll be there for me when I'm older. Yes, I hear you, Lindy. And we can, I mean, I know for me, a lot of my family, I'm putting in inverted commas, are actually people I've chosen as family. You know, they're not related, but I call them my sisters. I've got one friend, I call her Auntie. Yeah, we can create our own family through our friendships. Sarah, hi, darling. Sarah, just before I even read your comment, so other people know, Sarah is, she's our community head of happiness in the Love Lounge, and she is the ambassador on the 5-day Meet Your Soulmate Challenge. So a bunch of you probably already know Sarah. She's an important part of my life and an important part of the Love Lounge. What has she said? I will never tire nor stop benefiting from your wonderful victim training knowledge and guidance. It's so powerful and life-changing. Thank you. My darling, it's my honor. I'm so glad it's been so helpful. I'm really, really passionate about it. And I've seen it again and again and again and again in my clients, like this work and the work that I'm going to share with you guys tomorrow night. It's totally game-changing. It works. You can change these habits. You can feel healthier and have healthier relationships. You can. I'm very excited about that. It's helped me to step out of victim into power and starting my business. Whoop, whoop. Yes, you have, Sarah. So excited for you. Yeah, so good. Lindy, my comments stopped working on my PC, gone to my phone. Okay, here you are. I see you. I see you. I see you. It's working. Right, Helen's relating. Karen's loving on Sarah. I had to love myself way through a weekend of being in my victim regarding relationships. I recognized my pain and my responsibility, which felt so good. Now feeling positive about it all again. That's beautiful, darling. See, you are modeling transformational living right there. You're moving through it. You're just choosing to move through it. You're acknowledging, you're feeling your feelings, you're forgiving, you're stepping into intention, you're choosing the course of your life, right? You're on it. This is what we were teaching last night. That's transformational living. You're the poster girl, Sarah. You are the poster girl for transformational living. I love it. Okay. All right. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about the original victim. The original victim, which, by the way, I'm in the process of trademarking. Just putting that out there. Wink, wink. How do I want to speak to these slides? Let me just feel into it. Okay, what I'm going to do is just pause the slides for a second because I just want to ad lib for a minute. Yes, let's just look at what's going on here. So Do you remember at the beginning of this masterclass this evening, I was saying how, when you feel your victim archetype activated, you feel like there's a like a childish part of you that's coming to the forefront. This little girl that's kind of like screwing up her fists and her face and stamping her feet and getting angry, and she's entitled, and she's like, resigned, I can't be bothered, like, it feels like a small child is running the show. It feels like that because that is exactly what's happening. When our victim archetype is triggered, what's happening is our original victim is being activated. The original victim, she is a real energy within you, and it's your inner child. Now, your inner child and your original victim can be lots of different ages across lots of different timelines and different experiences in your life. Predominantly, and that the part of you that is most in control, that's super triggering of your victim behavior, is probably a very young girl, usually under the age of sort of 7 or 8. In my experience of working with so many women and guiding them through like really profound inner child work, usually it's around that kind of 4, 5, 6, 7 years old age is what comes through. And there's no science to this, and it'll be what it's going to be for you depending on your life experiences. I mean, I have worked with my victim. Where's my little picture of my girl? There she is. This is one of my original victims. That's me. Sorry about the light. That's me on a swing. So I quite often work with her. She is my original victim. When she pops through, I know about it. She's super vulnerable, actually. Sometimes it's my teenager. She's super moody and angry. My teenager's pretty entitled. Younger Katie is pretty resigned. But our original victim is a younger version of ourselves, and something happened at some point, and multiple things would have happened. She's had experiences in her life, and she made those experiences mean something about her. And in the moment of those experiences, something that should have happened to support her didn't happen. It was an experience where somebody, usually a caregiver like a mum or dad, somebody should have helped her understand what was going on. Somebody should have let her know that no matter what was going on, she was still worthy and valuable and lovable, that it's not her fault. Somebody should have made her feel safe, secure, significant, lovable, all those basic human needs. Somebody should have communicated that to her. Maybe should have held her and made her feel safe. But for whatever reason, that didn't happen. And so she is now with that unhealed part of her. And in fact, at that time, probably what she made it mean was something around her not being enough in some way. And that's carried through to adulthood. And in adulthood, it's this little girl, this small child that's getting activated, because there's a very real part inside that is still looking for safety, that's still looking for the significance, that's still looking to feel loved. And she didn't get it, but she bloody well deserved to. She should have. And it's our responsibility as an adult to reparent that younger part of ourselves. And that's how we heal our victim archetype. And it's through that healing work and working with the victim that we can start to discover from an empowered place, from a healed place, from an integrated, like, I've got me, because from that place, rather than I'm being ruled by this energy of a little girl that's outside of me. She's not integrated. I'm not paying her attention. I'm definitely not doing the healing work. Until we're integrated and whole within ourselves, we are acting out in relationship. And oftentimes we're looking to our relationships to fix us, to be the source of our significance, our love, our safety, our security, our variety, all of those basic human needs. We're looking to have them met, and we can do it from victim. We don't want to be fixed by somebody else. That's our responsibility. That's our work. It's too much to ask of somebody else, and it just becomes dysfunctional and a nightmare anyway, right? So let me go back. So the original victim, that little girl who was a victim because she didn't get what she needed, she wasn't acknowledged. Here we go. As an adult, if you're feeling overlooked and undervalued, the key to feeling empowered is through identifying your original victim and finally acknowledging what was never acknowledged and lovingly supported at the time. That's the work. Regardless of the details of her experience, for whatever reason, the child made it mean something about whether she was fundamentally enough, fundamentally worthy of someone's time, attention, kindness, and love. She probably learned she had to work hard for love, attention, and to feel remotely significant in the world. That little girl's fear is holding you back and stopping you from trusting others and not allowing you to live your most fulfilled and aligned life. Wow. That little girl's fear is holding you back and stopping you from trusting others and not allowing you to live your most fulfilled and aligned life. I'm just having to have a quick look at these comments. I had an affirmation at the start of this call, and it's shown up a lot for me recently. What if you fall, but darling, what if you fly? What if you fall, but darling, what if you fly? Yes, I love that. I'm going to turn that into a meme on Instagram tomorrow. Anybody here participating in the Instagram competition? Anyone? I'm making beautiful memes every day. I really enjoyed doing it. And I'm going to create that meme. And if any of you want to share it, Karen, you might want to share it. Don't know if you're on Instagram. Actually, while I've got the attention of a few of you, do you guys even use Instagram? Can you just type in the comments? Are you an Instagram girl or are you a Facebook girl? Just write Instagram or Facebook. If you're both, write both. I would love to know. Let's do a quick poll. I'm interested. Fiona, yay, Sarah, feels really empowering to know you're doing that. I have to head off and we'll catch the rest later. Loving your masterclass. My pleasure, Fiona. So good to have you. Yeah, I didn't think you were on Instagram. I had an inkling. Okay, so let's have a look. Who have we got? Sarah's on Insta and Facebook. Hi, Sarah. Anne's just on Facebook. Anyone else? I feel like you ladies aren't really on Instagram. But do you actually post on Instagram? I'm definitely not Facebook. You're a Facebook girl, but you're learning Insta. You use both, Lindy. But do you post on Instagram or do you just kind of look at it? Thanks for the reminder. It really is key to everything. P.S. I don't use Instagram. Okay, yeah. See, this is really interesting. Facebook, look at Insta, yeah, but don't post on it or even Facebook. Yeah. See, I forget that I'm working predominantly with women over 40 and they're just not on Instagram. I don't have Instagram. I use Facebook just for the groups. Yeah. Oh, you do post sometimes. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, interesting. No, Sarah's not on Instagram either. I reckon you'd love Instagram, Sarah. I've been experimenting with TikTok. Check me out. I use both, but yeah. Okay. I know I've changed subject a little bit there, but I was curious that came up for me today. I was curious. Interesting. Because I'm getting really into learning how to do reels and stuff, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a real creative outlet for me. And I'm like, I wonder if you guys even see them because you're probably not even on Instagram. Sometimes I remember to share them to Facebook. Okay, we're going to wrap this up soon. Hold on a minute. We're nearly there. We're getting to the really good stuff now. So a little bit more awareness here, you'll know your inner child, aka your original victim, is out of sorts if you feel scared, anxious, alone, worried, insecure, too much or not enough, unsafe, sad, screaming for attention, tantrum and rage, shame, neediness, looking for someone else to parent and nurture us. Often our own children can trigger our little girl, like, what about me? Yep. Unloved or not enough. So when we're feeling like this, very often that energy within us, that very real energy, that little girl, that inner child, that original victim, when she's feeling out of sorts, this is often what's going on. And you'll know your little girl is in good shape when you feel nurtured, safe and trusting, relaxed and peaceful, patient, accepting, understanding, compassionate, joyful, free, spontaneous, cheeky, playful, lovable, and enough. So when you get really good at reparenting that wounded part of you, you'll feel this more. It's a nice place to be. And I want to remind you the victim is a gift. So I believe the word victim needs a rebrand, because the victim is the key to claiming your power. She's actually showing you very specifically where you need to heal. It's really awesome. When we do this work together, the victim is such a source of information. And, so often when we're on our transformational healing journeys, we get that feeling of, I don't even know where to begin. Feels like so much going on. It's like this mountain to climb. Where do I begin? The victim points us very directly at where to begin. It's a real gift. Yeah, I love the rebrand. Exactly. Me too. So she's a gift. The victim is not bad or wrong or shameful or embarrassing. She's a signpost showing you how to live your best life. She's the gateway to your liberation and freedom. There's no better way to love yourself than to take responsibility for your life. Amen to that. Reparenting the inner child is a journey from disempowered child to empowered woman. So that's what we're doing when we're healing the victim. And as we heal the victim, we are healing our sabotaging relationship habits like codependency and people pleasing. We're stepping into our empowered self. And that's what I'm all about. That's what we do at the School of Self-Love. It's all about moving you into feeling empowered. Tomorrow, we're going to really look even more deeply into what empowerment actually means, and in terms of your masculine and feminine energies. Very, very exciting night tomorrow night. Can't wait to teach that masterclass. So when we heal the victim, we move into a space of expecting something different. Check this out. When we've healed the victim, this is what's going on in our mind. Notice how significantly different it is to those pages that I shared before when we're in victim. I expect the best. I can see the best in others. I don't have to do it all alone. I'm supported by a loving universe. Everything always works out for me. I know whatever I experience is an opportunity to grow. It's safe to feel my full range of emotion. Life feels full, juicy, and abundant. Life is happening for me. I'm overflowing with love, joy, gratitude, money, and friends. I can trust life. I can drop judgment. I'm safe to be me. I'm important and valuable and worthy. There's more than enough for me and everyone. I'm powerful. I'm in charge of my life. I am a perfect spirit. This is what shifts. This is like, can you feel the shift in energy from when we're being owned by our original victim and to this place of healing and integrating that original victim? You are no longer allowing your life to be guided by a fearful child. You are choosing to be led by your spiritual self, which is pure love. And I haven't even touched on that yet, but a huge part of healing your victim And healing your codependent, people-pleasing patterns of behavior is a spiritual journey. And your spiritual practices are very important. It's a huge part of the healing. So, darlings, ask yourself, if I stopped playing the victim and loved myself unconditionally, what could my life become? I'm actually just going to give you a moment. If you've got a journal or, a piece of paper and a pen, could you write the answer to that? If I stopped playing the victim and loved myself unconditionally, what could my life become? Oh, what a juicy question. That's great, Lindy. And maybe you want to share, guys, if I stop playing the victim and love myself unconditionally, what could my life become? What I want it to become, says Anne. Yeah. And do you know what that is? That's a big piece. Often when we've been in victim for a long time, we find it really hard to say what we want. We don't know. And when we are in codependent patterns of behavior, we're so conditioned. And remember, it's a habit. Habits can be changed. Our habit, however, is to focus on the needs of others. Because remember, I need you to be okay so that I can be okay. And when that's been our habit for a long time, we're more clear on what other people need than what we need. We know about other people's desires and wants and less about our own. So there's quite a retraining there to be done. Joyful, fulfilling, happy, abundant, and peaceful. Your life would become joyful, fulfilling, happy, abundant, and peaceful. Yes, Sally. Yes. My life would become joyous, exciting, freedom, and open-ended. Oh, I like that. Expansive, open-ended. I'm going to turn these into memes now, don't you? I'm feeling inspired. So much lighter, easier, and fulfilled. Yes. Yes. Blissful, fulfilled, content. Juicy. Yes. Darlings, it's time to take your power back. The degree to which you desire to be extraordinary and do life differently is the degree to which you will need to dig deep to uncover wounds and heal. Do you get that? Use my hands to demonstrate. Let's go up high. The degree to which you desire to be extraordinary and do life differently is the degree to which you need to dig deep and uncover the wounds and heal, right? You want to rise here, you've got to dig down here. That's what we're doing here. And this is the work I'm helping women with, and men, as it happens. Sarah saying her life would feel joyful, light, free, and a sense of being home. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Exactly. This is our daily work. Okie dokie. Anyone got any questions for me? Anyone? I did have a question today, and I'm just going to jump back to Facebook and answer. Now, I'm wondering, Anne, if you're still here, I'm wondering if tonight's masterclass actually answered some of your question, but I am still going to answer it for you. So Anne has asked, Katie, thank you for today. It was very good. I just wonder if you could give example answers to the first 5 questions of day 2 and examples of solutions in tonight's session. So, I think, yes, Anne is here. Great. I think that you'll have got a lot of answers already, but I'm just going to go through it real quick and top line this for you. So I'm in the playbook for today. And the first question was, do you know that you behave in ways that have others feel okay so that you can feel okay? Yes or no? Right? I think I've described that quite well in the masterclass, but essentially, are you caretaking? Are you people pleasing? Perhaps you're not telling the truth. There are different ways that you have others feel okay so that you can feel okay. Yeah. How are you behaving in order to feel approved of, accepted, and loved? Well, perhaps I made some notes earlier. Basically, I've read your question and I made some notes. These aren't my personal answers. These are some examples. So how are you behaving in order to feel approved of, accepted, and loved? Maybe it's your career choice. Maybe your job has you feel accepted by your community or loved by your family, approved of, she's a good girl. Like when I was in corporate, she's a good girl. She's got a good job, solid income, nice salary, good benefits. When I became a coach, I'll never forget my dad saying, I don't understand it, therefore I don't like it. God bless him. He probably still feels the same way. But I had to own my truth. It's like I could carry on being a good corporate girl with my big salary, like reliable salary that, made everybody else feel safe and okay. Meanwhile, I was soul destroyed. Or I could step into work that really was aligned for me. Another example of how you might be behaving to feel approved of, accepted, and loved, not saying what you really think. This is a good one. I'm using this because I've heard this from so many clients before. Going to Sunday lunch with extended family. You don't really want to do it, but you go to feel accepted and approved of. Having sex when you don't want to. It's a thing. Ignoring bad behavior from your partner. So if you're being treated appallingly by somebody and you put up with it so that you can feel loved, that would be a good example. So there's just a few little examples there. Are you attracted to people that need fixing in some way? Give examples of how you've tried to fix partners or a partner that has potential. Some of this is what I used to do. Do their finances for them, pay their bills, counsel them, whether you're qualified to or not, book their doctor's appointments, their counseling appointments, their accountancy appointments, try to get them to read self-help books, try to get them to go to self-help seminars, there's a few little examples there. Give some examples of how you can behave like a martyr. What do you do or say when you are being a martyr? It's okay for you. What about me? No one cares about me. You're doing from a place of fear because you need their love and approval, right? You're not you're not like giving from a place of love and overflow because you've taken care of yourself and it's now your pleasure to take care of them. You're doing from a place of fear because you need them to be okay so you can be okay. So is that helpful, my love? And in terms of I think the second part of your question, let me go back to Facebook. Examples of solutions. I think I've shared that. So it's about reparenting the inner child. Yeah. And if you would like to go deeper into that work, I'm going to be sharing how you can do that tomorrow night. Okay. So I won't be doing that now, but I will let you know tomorrow night. And I promise you it's a freaking exciting, wonderful offer with, it's very cool. So watch this space. I'll tell you more tomorrow night. Any more questions or shall we wrap up? Are we good? It's been a lot. I know it's a lot to absorb. You're very, very welcome, Anne. Very welcome. Guys, if you feel like, it probably feels good to wrap up now. If you're still working through the playbooks, remember, we've got the extra day on Thursday now. So you've got more than enough time to work through them and feel really complete and really feel into any questions that you would like my support on. And you can bring those questions, of course, tomorrow night to tomorrow night's call. And Thursday night, we've got that bonus call where you can ask more questions. Okay. There's no announcement tonight, Lindy. There was going to be, but I've moved the announcement back to tomorrow night. Okay. So perhaps somewhere I wrote there's going to be an announcement tonight. And maybe we didn't edit that because I've changed up LoveFest because I've added a day. I've changed the schedule. I've pushed the announcement back to tomorrow night. And the announcement is going to be about how you can work with me further. Okay. Spoiler alert. But I will make that announcement tomorrow night. I feel more empowered after just listening today. Darling, you're so welcome. You're so, so welcome. Hi, Katie. Great name. My pleasure. So good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Helen, my pleasure, darling. So glad I've done this transformational amnesia. Hold on, let me read that again. Thank you so much. So glad I've done this as transformational amnesia has definitely been in play, right? We forget what we know and we need to keep coming back to it. Hence the love lounge. That's what we do in there. We avoid transformational amnesia. We're in this space. We're on it. I'm reminding you all the time with love. My pleasure, Lindy. My absolute pleasure. Pleasure, Kate. Thanks, guys, for joining. I love hanging out with you. I'll see you tomorrow night. We have another powerful masterclass. There's more coming your way. And I will make the announcement tomorrow night. Okay. Good night, everybody. And if you're on Instagram, jump onto the competition because the prize is a private coaching call with me. Woo-woo. Love you. Have a lovely evening. See you tomorrow.